in the final few weeks of your time at the club. How much are the emotions currently stirring inside of you then?
I don't know. It's just sort of all the focus, I guess, has been on to finish on a high and to finish on the best note possible. So I've sort of obviously known about it for a while personally, but so this, however long left, it's just all about playing as well as I can and hopefully getting to Old Trafford.
Are the emotions stirring inside of you?
No, I just think it's more about I'm more focused on performing well each week for the team and just sort of doing the best job I can to sort of help the team get as far as we can into this season. Obviously, we've had a strong season so far, but sort of once you get to next week, it counts for nothing. It all starts again. It's all knockout. So it's just I'm just sort of focusing on preparing as well as I can and playing the best I can.
Why is it time for you to be leaving Hull KR?
Well, obviously, Willie and I had a chat about maybe 12 months ago. He sort of let me know then that this would be my last year here. Obviously, I'm a quota spot still under the current rules, and obviously Hargraves is signed quite early into the season, so I knew from an early stage there that this would be my last year here. Barring a change, obviously there was a small chance that the rules would get changed a little bit now that I'm a British citizen, but so I've sort of known from a while. So I've sort of just gone into this year just enjoying my footy and playing as well as I can.
He told you it would be your final year?
Yeah, obviously with quota spots and stuff, he sort of just let me know that I just asked him where I was at kind of thing, and he just sort of said that, this would be my last year here. So I've known for about 12 months really. It's been plenty of time to sort of get it and just focus. And from that point, I just knew that I just wanted to have the best possible year here that I could.
How did you feel then that your time was coming to an end then when you learnt of that, when you've been here for such a long time?
No, it was all right. It was more to do with the fact on that he originally come back to how long I was staying, and I said that I'd probably only have another year or two in me, and obviously that led to a decision. He sort of, if I was going to stay, it was probably going to be more of a long-term thing, and I said I can't commit to that. So it was mutual. It was fine, and I appreciated the honesty, and we sort of knew from that stage where we were at. So it was just my whole focus of coming back this year was just playing as well as I could.
What made you think you only had another year or two in you then? Purely down to age?
No. I feel fine. It's got nothing to do with football. I feel like I'm playing really good football. It's just more. Obviously, I've been here 8 years now. That more leans into it than anything. I feel like for myself, we've got a little girl now, and it's sort of that time when you start to think about family and being away from them. So I think internally, I knew that it was between. Yeah, there wasn't much longer that we were gonna stay over here. But I think it's got nothing to do with football. I think I'm playing some really good football and I feel fine.
So in that regard then, do you feel like your time at Rovers are being cut short a little bit prematurely?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think it's, as I said, it's not really something. It's sort of, we just had a chat and sort of it went from there. It's like there was no it was nothing in it. I appreciated the honesty and where we were at, so it was not like I feel like it's cut short. As I said, I think I said last year it was only going to be another season or two anyway. So I think it was just whether it was this year or next year. I think really.
Why have you found such contentment at Rovers, do you think?
It's a good question. I guess just coming here originally, I just got that feeling straight away that with the fan base and obviously with how they'd gone in the past, I just felt that if we put together a really good team and a good squad, that we could have a really good crack. I think my first game obviously was against FC, and I turned up, and obviously Hull KR weren't doing as well that season as they would have liked, but the crowd was like, it was loud. It was just awesome atmosphere, and I just thought the whole time here, I said if we can get a team that can really have a crack here, it's just going to be an awesome place to play footy. And I think a group of guys too, I think a big part of your squad is who you're around every day and how they interact, and we've got a really good squad here, and I think it shows on the field. Everyone's willing to work really hard for each other, and that's a big part of it as well. But I always knew that if we could put together a squad that could compete, it would be a really great place to play.
And scoring a try on your debut against Hull FC can't have harmed your chances of being taken to the hearts of the Rovers fans immediately. No,
it was good. It was a really good day. I'll always remember turning up. I sort of didn't really know what to expect. Only did one session and turned up, and it ended up being a really, really good night. So, yeah, I've enjoyed it since then.
You wanted to have some fun, didn't you, this year? How much is your final season of Rovers delivering on that so far?
Yeah, so far I'm enjoying it a lot. I feel like, as I said, I'm playing some pretty good footy. I feel really good. I enjoy going out, playing with the boys each week. So it's just about, obviously, finishing strong. We've got a big game Friday. We want to at least cement that second spot. So we want to get that home semi-final. So we have a big job to make sure we do that. And then, it's all focused on the playoff.
At this stage in your career, how do you manage such consistency then? How do you manage that drive and determination?
As I said, this year's been twofold. It's been easy because obviously I knew it was my last year, but as the season's gone on and as we've gone on, it's just all that focus about getting to the. Obviously, don't want to get too far ahead, but it's been a big drive to sort of push towards the getting to Old Trafford and getting the trophy. Obviously, last year in the Challenge Cup, we were so close to it, and I just feel like regardless how this season ends, I'll always be I'll remember my time here super fondly, and I've had so much fun. But I think to go out lifting a trophy would just be the ultimate.
Without a doubt. Has the progress of the clubs made this season surprised you a little bit?
I don't think so. I think obviously at the start of the season we probably weren't predicted to finish in the top two, but looking back on recent years, I think 2021 we made the semi-final. 22 we made the Challenge Cup final and just had a horror run of injuries. Last year we obviously made the Challenge Cup final, made the semi-final as well. So I don't think. I think maybe from the outside, I think some people were surprised. But I think if you go back on our form, like we've been thereabouts, we just had to add a bit more to the squad, I guess, and probably just that bit of time together and gelling and guys getting more experience in those kind of games has just sort of shown. So I think especially over the last 3 years, I guess, we've been sort of building to this point. And I think it's just probably, it may have surprised some people, but I don't think looking back that it's too much of a surprise.
And was the genuine belief then in the group at the start of the season that you could nail down a top two finish? Yeah,
definitely. Obviously, I think the goal everyone is, I guess, top four is where you're at, but top two I think is so important. I think you look back, I don't know the stats or anything like that, but I know having a home semi-final, I know in 2017 we had a home semi-final at Headingley. I think it's just a massive, massive advantage. So for us, it's just all focused on Friday and finishing that top two. Obviously, it all starts again and it doesn't guarantee anything, but I think finishing that top two is quite important.
How do you feel about your prospects then of doing that?
Yeah, no, obviously we're confident. I think defensively we've been really, really strong. I don't know the stats, but I think take out the Wigan game and we haven't let many tries in at all. I think when you're defending like that and defending for each other, it sort of goes a long way. I think we've still got some room in attack. I think attacking-wise, we've still got some improvement in us. And when you get to these type of games in this type of year, obviously it's a bit greasier than and then you've got probably a bit of a different style. But I think defensively we're hard to score against, and that makes you a hard team to beat.
What difference then has Brett Delaney had?
Yeah, massive. Yeah, massive. Obviously, I'm good friends with Brett. I played with him at Leeds in 17 and 18, but he's been absolutely, him and Wardy have been absolutely awesome for the defence. I think they're two people that, especially Frog, that he can really, boys can buy into what he says and he can say it from experience. And I think boys sort of get around that and are encouraged by it. So he's had a massive influence on the defence.
Your old club Leeds then in this game, what are you expecting from it?
Yeah, no, it'll be tough. I think obviously they'll be disappointed with how they played against Wigan. So I think especially with Brad there and whether this is their last game or not, I think they'll be out there to impress and sort of and make up, I guess, for that game last week. So I think we've got to expect the best of them. They're still mathematically, they're a shot at making the finals. I think Lee play at the same time, so they won't know what's going on. So they're going to be going all out to try and finish in the top six, and we're going to be going all out to try and finish in the top two. So it should be a good game. Are
you expecting Wigan to win the League Shield now? Deep down.
Yeah, I don't know. It's completely up. I've seen Salford in good form. I think Salford still have much to play for. They're playing for a home elimination final. So I think, but yeah, it's completely out of our control. So all we can do is go out there and obviously we'll know the result by Friday or Thursday night. But our focus this week is just on making sure we finish in that top 2.
What next for you after you finished at Rovers then?
I'm not too sure. I don't know. The plan is obviously to chill out for a bit. I got my family coming over in December, and we're going to do a month in Europe for Christmas and New Year and that. So looking forward to that. But as I said, this could be my last couple of games ever. It might not be. I've seen the decision's not because I feel like I'm struggling at all. I feel like I'm playing really well. The body feels well, but it's more of a decision about we just felt like this was the right time to finish our time in England for this, playing time in England. As I said, we've had some wonderful memories. We've met some awesome people that will be friends for life, and just the life experience we've had is unbelievable. Obviously, we have British citizenship, so we may in the future find our way back here. But we just thought, both of us, Steph and myself and my wife Steph, we just thought now was a good time to just end the time in England.
You want to play on?
I'm in a position. I think I'm quite good. I think I'm not bothered really. In Australia, I think I don't really have an interest in playing part-time or anything like that. So between now and when we head back in mid-January, if something was to pop up, I would consider it. I've already sort of declined a few things. I don't feel like I need to play on. I feel if this is my last couple of games, I'll be completely happy. But if something pops up that suits me and suits our situation, then I'd consider it, I guess.
How much of a cherry on top of the cake would be claiming some silverware then at Rovers to go out on?
Yeah, obviously it'd be unbelievable. That's the ultimate goal. That's what I'm focusing on. But at the same time, you just got to, especially when you get down to here, you just got to take it week by week. You just got to prepare as well as you can, go out there and play as well as you can, and see where it takes you.
Best of luck, Matt. Thanks very much for your time today. Appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you.
Hello, Matt.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. I'm Aaron Dan from the Hull Daily Mail. Nice to see you.
You too.
First of all, I thought I'd talk about the dynamic in the hooker role, Matt, with you and Jez. Obviously very healthy for the club. So how much are you enjoying that, and how pleased are you to have started the number of games you have been recently?
Yeah, Jez and I have always been great mates since we arrived pretty much at the club at the same time. So we've sort of just helped each other along, and over the last 5 or so years, it's been great to develop each other's games and sort of get to the point where we are now. But I just really enjoy playing with Jez. He's a great player, a great competitor. He just does whatever he needs to do on the field, and he's a great teammate. So I think. But starting wise, it is what it is. Like obviously, Jez started a lot at the start of the year, and then Willie just said changed it around, and it's sort of been working. So we've just stick with that. So there's no I think pretty much first half of the year he started, and a lot of the games I've started in the back end. But it's just how it is. I think whoever's on the field, we do a good job.
And the club's come a long way, as you mentioned, since you started here. So when you look back, how proud will you be at seeing how it was at the start to where it is now? Yeah, no,
it is quite cool. I think there's a lot of people that have been along the journey while in my time here. There's quite a few people that have been involved in the process of getting to the club where it is now. But yeah, it will be a cool thing, and I think to finish this year would be really, really cool. But regardless, if we don't lift the trophy this year, I think the club's in a really good spot, and it won't be too long before it does.
Just looking at what's going on now, obviously Elliot Manchella not being there is a shame. So can you just talk about what sort of loss that is and how you're feeling about dealing with that?
Yeah, massive loss for us with Minnie. He's an unbelievable player. He's shown all year, or for the past few years, he's been absolutely outstanding. So it is going to be a big loss. But the good thing in this team is it's just a sort of next job mentality, and it's sort of whoever comes in, whoever plays and takes over the role will do an absolutely fantastic job, and we just get on with it. And yeah, it's just completely out of our control. It's going to be it's a massive loss, but yeah, we just got to deal with it.
You were mentioning the citizenship rule in terms of the quota situation earlier, Matt. So can you just talk about how helpful you think it might be if Super League changes the rules and allows sort of citizenship to come into the quota decision making?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with the rule. I think it's a long process to get citizenship. You don't just be 5 years here and you get it. It's not even 5 years. It's pretty much a minimum of 6.5 years, and that's if you do everything on the spot. So I think if you're committing 6 or 7 years to the Super League, it's your prime years, and I think you deserve to be off quota. I don't think after 6 or 7 years you should still be on a quota spot. You've sort of committed yourself to the competition, and you've come over here, and your bulk of your career is going to be played in the Super League. So I think that it's a rule that probably should have been brought in earlier, but I think it is a great rule. I think, and it's not just like you one day you're a citizen, one day you're not. It's quite a big process to become a citizen, and it's, as I said, I did everything on the dot, and it took me about 6.5 years. So there's a few rules there. If you're married to someone, it can change, but in general, it's going to take someone pretty much 7 years of being in the Super League before they'll become off quota. So I think if they've committed 6 or 7 years to the Super League, they shouldn't be a quota spot anymore.
Just to look at your whole KR career as a whole, Matt, if you were asked to pick a few moments that stand out that you really cherish, like what would you go for?
There's been a lot. Obviously, the first game was pretty cool. I think to come in and sort of score the try at the end to win the game was very cool. But it's just the process. I think the Wigan semi-final was a cool one. That was just a good moment for the club. But I think the whole process has just sort of been leading up, and every year we've been getting better and getting to the big games. And I think especially you take this squad here, there's only a couple of players, like Ryan's obviously played in a lot of finals. I've played in one in 17. But as these guys get more experience in those kind of games, I think the club will go on a run and win quite a bit. I think it's once you get the confidence of being there and doing it, then I think that can breed confidence. And I think it's just the whole process of where I've turned up in 2019 to where it is now is just a cool spot it is.
Just finally for me, Matt, you've touched on this with your statement and what you said already to Matt Dean. I mean, you've enjoyed the lifestyle in England of being here. So can you just talk about what you've enjoyed about living in England over the years you've spent there?
Obviously, just I think for me it was quite lucky. Like obviously 2017 was a really good year. So when you come over and you sort of can win a competition in your first year, it sort of, I guess, makes the transition a little bit a lot easier, I suppose. But just the people, we have people like friends that we're just like, they're just absolutely awesome people. Obviously the traveling around is just, I love traveling to Europe, just even just the I guess the history in England. It's just like, obviously where I grew up is pretty different. So it's just like the whole life experience of being over here and just especially we have a little girl Sadie now, but for the first 7 years it's just Steph and I, and sort of the places we did, the people we met, just everything about it we just really enjoyed. And I think I'll look back and think if I would have spent my bulk of my career in Australia, I wouldn't have been able to experience the things I have. And I just think as a lifestyle to move over here, we sort of weren't really sure what we were doing when we did it. We just decided we're going to move over. And we just absolutely turned out to be the best thing ever.
No, that's great. Thanks for your time and all the best for the future.
No worries. Thank you.
Hi, mate. It's Gary. All right?
Hey, mate. How are
you? Yeah, good. Thank you. Talk me through actually getting the citizenship, because you have to pass the test or anything like that. Yeah,
it's a process. So after 5 years in the country, you can apply for your residency. So like you're pretty much like it's your indefinite leave to remain, but it's pretty much like having residency here. So you have to pass the test. You have to sit the test to do that, and then you get your leave to remain, indefinite leave to remain. So you're pretty much a permanent resident, but you have to hold that for another 12 months before you can apply for citizenship. And then once you apply for citizenship, it can take up to 6 months to get your citizenship. So it's sort of, and all those things there's stages along the way, boxes you have to tick, things you have to show that how you've been in the country and all that kind of stuff. So it's not, I sort of read some comments on it where it was just like 5 years and bang, you're a citizen. And it's not like that at all. And I think the big bonus of it is, I think clubs help. I know how I've got it, but I don't know how other players have gone. But I think clubs sort of help you get your permanent residency, but then there's no incentive for the club to help them get citizenship because it doesn't. You're still a quota spot. You're still like that. So I think the rule in general will be good for the boys, because I know some players who have been over here for 6, 7, 8, 9 years and they hadn't had their citizenship yet, because obviously it's a costly process and that kind of thing. That I think by introducing this rule from the players' perspective, the clubs will benefit from helping them get citizenship, and I think that's a great thing. I think if you've been over here, yes, as I said, it took me 6.5 years, and my wife, she was on a different visa to start with, so she's only just got hers within the last year. So it's not a simple process of just bang, one day you're not a citizen, one day you are. So I think, and as I said, I think if you've committed 6 or 7 years to the Super League, that's the bulk of your career, so you deserve to be off quota.
You have to learn like the weird and wonderful bits of English history in the third and fourth versions.
Yeah. It's quite. Some of the questions are quite interesting. You have one question will be quite basic, I guess, and then the next question will be like back in 1406 about a battle and who was this. So it's quite interesting, the questions, and it's good. You get to learn about the history and stuff like that. So I enjoyed it.
And because of your states, and it was known fairly early on that this would be your last year, have you had many or any Super League clubs contact you and say, "Look, do you fancy moving to us next year?" Yeah,
I have, and it's been grateful. But I think it's just as I said, I think it's just the right time to finish it. I think I just don't think I would. I just think this is a good time, and I as I said, I feel like I'm playing really well, but at the same time, that's a good time to finish. I think being away from your family and that kind of thing, if it wasn't going so well and you weren't playing as great, I think it would be a really tough spot. So I think I always sort of envision finishing a couple of years early rather than a couple of years late.
But unless an NRL club comes up with an offer for you, it's back to which is it?
It'll be somewhere there. I think we'll end up in Brisbane or down by the coast somewhere. I think there's not too many plans, to be honest. I think it's been, by the time we moved back, it'll be nearly 10 years since we've lived back there. So I didn't want to make too many concrete plans, sort of want to get back and have a bit of time to enjoy it and find my feet and that kind of thing before I decide what we really want to do in our life going forward.
You might have just answered this question. If it's not playing, have you any idea what it is you may sort of look at? What's a line of work you may sort of go down? I've got a degree in civil engineering, but whether I use it, I think, as I said, I sort of didn't want to commit to too much because it's been 10 years. So I think the best thing is to get back and sort of find your feet and have a bit of time to just readjust and fit back into that lifestyle. It's going to be very different to when I lived there last. Obviously, we visited and stuff, but to move back there full time is going to be quite different. So I think, but to answer your question, I think it'll be something in property, whether it's development or project management or something like that. I really enjoy my property side of things. So it will be, if I was to say something now, it'll be something in property. On to Rovers. Do you sense a similar sort of feeling among the Rovers squad now? Is that Leeds squad of 17 that went all the way and won the grand final?
I think I think the big thing about having a good squad is having confidence, and I think we've shown over the last 6, 7, 8 weeks that we're a good team. We can defend strongly. We are hard to beat, and that's a big thing when you get into these games. It's about teams having to beat you, and I think we just have to focus on ourselves. I think on our day when we're playing as well as we can, we're going to be really hard to beat. So I think as long as we do that, as I said, there's obviously some guys that, as a squad, we probably don't have as much experience in those finals as other teams. But we've got, like last year, we had the Challenge Cup final. So boys have been exposed to these big games. We've had a lot of semi-finals, as I said, over the last few years. So it's just about going out and doing what's got you there all year and just doing it to the best of your ability.
In a weird way, could you take confidence from that defeat at Wigan the other week?
Oh, definitely. I think we had twice there, I feel like we were in a really good spot there. Obviously, we had a couple of decisions that took us down to 12 men and Wigan got back in the game. And credit to them. When you give them a chance like that, they're a good team and they're a fast team and they're going to punish you. But I think, especially that second time, I think when you get to a lead and Wigan got us back, you can sort of fall in a hole there and that can be the game. But I think we did really well to get back ahead and have in control of that game. I think we might have been up 20-8 or something like that. And obviously we lost Jai and Wigan got back into it because they will punish you, and they're a very good team. But I think we can take a lot of confidence out of that game.
And just lastly for me, if you're heading back to Australia, you're going to miss out on Coldplay tickets, aren't you?
Yeah, I know, got it. I saw that today. I'm sure that's pretty cool. So I think the boys are buzzing. So I think that hopefully they get some really good tickets, because that's a really, really cool thing to have at Craven Park.
Cheers, Matt. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
No worries.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Reading between the lines, it doesn't sound like you're actively looking for an NRL club, but do you still feel like you could play at that top level in Australia?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I could. As I've said, this decision's got nothing to do with how I feel about my football or anything like that, or my age. I feel like I feel like probably playing some of my best footy at the moment. So it's just about, this decision was more about just this is just about finishing our time in England on a really strong note. And if something was to pop up, I think I think I'd be more than capable of playing really good footy back home.
If someone came, I know you've got these plans for what you're going to do in the off season, but if an NRL club got in touch in the next couple of weeks, would you be left with a bit of a tricky decision there?
Maybe, yeah. Obviously, I'll cross that bridge if it happens. As I said, I'm in a really comfortable position where if this is my last few weeks, I'm completely happy. And if something pops up that would suits me, I'll definitely consider it. So I think, it's a good position to be in. Obviously, some boys will be worried about I guess their future and that kind of thing. But if this is my last, hopefully 3 games, I'll be completely happy with that. And if it's not, I'll do my absolute best wherever I end up.
In a few months' time, if there's no call from an NRL club, would you consider playing in the lower grades and doing that alongside your
No, I don't think so. I think obviously I don't want to completely rule it out, because I could get back home and change my mind. But at this point, I just feel like if I was to go back and play in that, then it's going to take up my weekend. Not that it's just, I'd probably prefer to stay over here if the short. If I was going to do that, I might as well stay here for another year or 2. No, I think that's probably. I know I could. Yeah, no.
So you think it's either NRL again or retirement and hang?
Yeah, as I said, I like the NRL thing. There's nothing like that's. Yeah, it's just more of a thing where it's like this decision's not down to how I feel I'm playing. If anything, I feel I'm playing some really good footy. It's just a decision. It's more of a family decision. It's more of a decision about. We've had a really, really cool 8 years in England, but now it's time to move on from that. And I think this decision's purely based on just wanting to end our time in England really strongly and having really, really good memories. And so I think leaving now is the best thing possible.
Yeah. So if you did get an NRL deal, that would just be a bonus on top of going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's obviously it just depends. There's pretty much. It's not like something that I'm. As I said, it's not something that I really am holding. Not holding. It's not something that I'm worried about. If you know what I mean. Yeah. It's just something that if it happens, it happens.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, and all the best for your last few weeks.
No worries. Thank you.
Yes.
Mate, you all right?
Hey, how are you?
I was just one thing you mentioned about you thinking about calling time potentially. Was coaching never something that interested you?
As I said, I don't. At this point in time, no. I think the best thing is when you do it is to get away from it for a bit. Obviously, if something in the future pops up and it suits at the time and all that kind of thing, possibly. But yeah, it's not something that at the moment I would like to transition into straight away. If that was the case, it's definitely. I feel like just getting away from it for a bit. It's been my whole life not my whole life, but it's been a big part of my life for a long time. So I think just getting away from it for a bit, and if it finds a way back to you and an opportunity pops up, then yeah. But it's just about getting away and sort of finding out what you want to do with the next stage of your life, I guess.
Yeah, it makes sense. Anyway, best of luck for Friday and best of luck in whatever future brings.
No worries. Thank you very much.